spiritual master.
Yaśodā, please, if you could give a response.
Well, the term acharya and spiritual master are synonymous in many of Prabhupada's writings, although technically acharya is a very special position, because acharya, just like we were reading that verse, that lecture from Srila Prabhupada, that acharya mam vijanayan, one who's acting in the capacity of a Vaishnava acharya. It says that Krishna says, I am the acharya is myself. And then Krishna himself in this Bhagavatam verse is warning that do not become envious of the acharya, thinking the acharya to be an ordinary man. Now, the difficulty we have is that sometimes we see that many of Srila Prabhupada's statements in his books, it's just like one time Prabhupada was giving a lecture in Chandigarh, India, to a group of journalists. And he's trying to tell all these journalists that they should become gurus and preach Bhagavad Gita all over the world, because they were born in a very favorable circumstance in India. Bharat bhumite oye manusya janmajar, janma sartak kari para upakar, engage in para upakar, or beneficial activities for the whole of human society. Preach the Bhagavad Gita, become trained up and preached. Now, none of these people were very trained up. We know that. But Prabhupada is encouraging him to teach, to preach, to guide, to counsel, like that, to shiksha. There is another category of spiritual master called Vartma Pradarshaka Guru, one who shows the path. I mean, one should not discount many of Srila Prabhupada's statements as no one can act as a spiritual master. That is not correct. Prabhupada was encouraging all of his disciples to become spiritual masters. Just sometimes back, Balaram Prabhu from Australia sent an email where he very nicely and clearly explained the meaning and the difference between shiksha and diksha. And primarily, whenever Prabhupada taught and gave lectures encouraging his disciples to become spiritual masters, it was the context, within the context of giving shiksha, to become shiksha gurus, teach Bhagavad Gita, tell him to chant Hare Krishna, give him some prasadam, give him the preliminary knowledge of the science of Krishna, and give him one of my books. We've often discussed how in the middle 1970s in America, what happened is a lot of devotees would engage in these debates on sidewalks in America with various religious groups. And when Prabhupada heard that, he says, no, don't do that. What will your 15 minutes talking do? Just give them one of my books. Now, why was he saying that? Because he is the acharya, he is the authority. He is the transcendental authority. He was training us to how to present the knowledge of Krishna consciousness, especially in the Western world, primarily by distributing his books, because he knew that these books will convince people. So like a little while back, I sent an article on one of these little newsletters where Prabhupada was discussing how these books, his books, are the representative of God. That this is the authoritative presentation in the science of spiritual knowledge. How to understand who is God. This is given systematically by Srila Prabhupada in his books. It is very nice, just like we were reading today in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Any reasonable person will understand that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. Prabhupada is presenting the same knowledge that Krishnadas Kaviraj was presenting, the same knowledge that Rupa Goswami was presenting, the same knowledge that Jiva Goswami was presented in his various sandarbhas, but it's presented according to time, place, and circumstance, so that people in the Western countries, the Alpamedasa crowd, or less intelligent crowd, as described in the Srimad Bhagavatam for Kali Yuga, the symptoms